You wake up and you don't know where you are. The ground is stone. Cold, cracked stone that smells of old urine and river mud. Your wrists are bound. The rope is tight enough to leave marks that won't fade for weeks. Around you, bodies press close. Men, women, a few children. All of them quiet in the way that people get quiet when noise has stopped helping. The sky above is pale Roman morning, that thin gray light before the city fully wakes. You are not dreaming. You are in ancient Rome, somewhere around the 1st century, and you are property now. You don't remember being captured. Maybe you were a prisoner of war, dragged from a burning village in Gaul or Britannia or Dacia. Maybe your father owed a debt he could never repay. Maybe you were simply unlucky, walking a road that crossed the wrong men at the wrong hour. It doesn't matter now. The chain at your ankle doesn't ask how you got here. The slave market opens slowly. Vendors arrange their stock. That is the word they use. Stock. You are placed on a low wooden platform with perhaps 30 others. A placard is hung around your neck. It lists your approximate age, your region of origin, any skills the traders think you might have. If you speak Greek, that is written. If you are strong, they note it. If you are young and appear healthy, the price climbs. You stand still because standing still is the only power left to you. Then the buyers come. They move through the market the way men move through a market for horses. Unhurried, calculating. One man lifts your arm and squeezes the muscle. Another checks your teeth. A third looks at your eyes the way a physician might, searching for sickness, for weakness, for anything that might reduce your value before he pays for it. You look at the ground. You have learned already, in just these few hours, that looking a Roman citizen in the face without permission is a mistake. You are sold before midday. The man who buys you is not cruel in the obvious way. He is simply indifferent. A wealthy merchant with a house near the Palatine Hill. He already owns perhaps 20 slaves. You are a replacement. Someone before you died of fever. You fill the empty space without ceremony, without welcome. A steward, himself a slave of long standing, walks you through the household and speaks quickly. Listen well. There is no second explanation. The house is large by any measure. Tiled floors, painted walls, a courtyard with a small fountain that runs clean water all day. Beautiful, really, if beauty means anything to someone who owns nothing inside it. You are assigned a sleeping space in a back room with 4 others. A straw mat. A single blanket. The room smells of lamp oil and sweat. You fold yourself onto the mat that night and stare at the ceiling and do not sleep for a long time. Your days begin before dawn. The city wakes early and the household wakes earlier. You carry water from the cistern, heavy clay amphorae balanced on your shoulders, the weight cutting into muscle you didn't know you had. You sweep the atrium floor. You clean the latrines. You carry ash from the braziers and scatter it in the garden where the master's wife grows herbs. You are given orders in a tone that assumes immediate obedience, because immediate obedience is what survives here. Hesitation draws attention. Attention draws punishment. By the 3rd week, you understand the invisible architecture of the household. There are hierarchies even among the enslaved. The educated Greek slave who tutors the master's children moves through rooms with a kind of quiet authority. The secretary who manages correspondence eats better food. The cook is almost never disciplined because the master enjoys his meals. Then there is everyone else. You are everyone else. Invisible until needed. Noticed only when something goes wrong. Rome does not think of you as a person in any legal sense. You have no rights in any court. No marriage a Roman law would recognize. No children that are legally yours to keep. If the master sells one of your children, he can. If he separates a husband from a wife, he can. The Stoic philosophers write that all souls are equal before nature. You hear none of that here. What you hear is the sound of sandals on tile and a voice calling your name, which is no longer your name. They have renamed you something simpler, something easier for Roman tongues. Months pass. The seasons are different here than wherever you came from. Roman summer is long and white and relentless. You carry water in that heat until your shoulders go numb. You serve at dinner parties where citizens recline on cushioned couches and eat oysters and roasted dormice and drink wine cut with honey. They do not look at you. You are furniture that moves. You refill cups without being asked. You keep your eyes soft and your feet quiet. If a guest drops something, you retrieve it before it hits the floor. This is skill. This is survival. There are worse lives here and you know it. You have heard of slaves in the silver mines outside the city. They go down into the dark and most of them do not come back up whole. They live for perhaps 3 years in those shafts. 3 years. You carry water and sweep tile and serve wine and you tell yourself this is bearable. Bearable is not the same as good. But it is something. There are also public slaves, those owned by the Roman state itself. They maintain the aqueducts, assist in the temples, keep records for magistrates. Some of them accumulate a kind of status over decades, not freedom. Status. The difference matters if you are living inside it. Then there is manumission. The word floats through the household like a rumor of rain in dry season. Freedom, granted by the master, either during his lifetime or written into his will. Some slaves earn it through years of loyalty, through exceptional service, through being liked by the right people in the right moments. A freed slave becomes a freedman, technically a Roman citizen of low standing, allowed to own property, to conduct business, to live outside walls that belong to someone else. You think about this sometimes. Late at night on your straw mat? You think about it the way people think about things that might happen but probably won't. You watch the master's household carefully because watching is the only education available. His wife manages the domestic accounts with precision. She is not unkind, but she is not warm. She forgets your name regularly and calls you by the name of the slave you replaced. You do not correct her. Correcting her is not something you do. His children ignore you entirely, except when they want something carried or fetched. The oldest son is 12 and has already learned the posture of ownership. He will inherit this house. He will inherit you. Time moves differently when every day looks like the one before it. You count seasons instead of months. One winter, then another. Your body grows harder from the work and your face grows quieter. You learn Latin well enough to understand everything. You learn to speak only when spoken to, which means you learn to think in long, unbroken stretches of silence, whole hours of thought going nowhere, pressing against the inside of your skull with nowhere to go. You learn who gets beaten and why. You learn which rooms to avoid after dinner when the wine has been flowing. You learn the name of the steward's informant among the household slaves, the one who carries small grievances to the master's ear for small rewards. You stay far from him. You stay far from everything that has edges. One afternoon in your second autumn, you are cleaning the mosaic floor of the reception hall. The tiles show Neptune rising from a dark sea, his trident raised, the water beneath him full of creatures that have no fear. You stare at it for longer than you should. Something about the image holds you. All that motion frozen in stone. All that power going nowhere. A voice calls your name from the corridor. The name that is not your name. You set down the cloth. You stand. You go.